What is up everyone, it is Sacred Saiyan here, welcoming you to the final episode of the series, What if Sacred Saiyan was in Dragon Ball? If you end up liking today's video, then please consider subscribing. It is free, and you can always unsubscribe later. There's a link in the description of the video to my Discord server, and also to become a channel member if you want to support the channel. The highest channel member tier is called Royal Blue, so if you want to support me, then that is definitely the best way to do so. And with all that out of the way, let's get into the final episode of What if Sacred Saiyan was in Dragon Ball? This video begins on Beerus's planet. I am watching as Goku talks to Beerus about creating the Tournament of Power, and after Beerus threatens to erase him, Goku tricks him into looking away before pressing the Zeno button and teleporting to his realm. I begin laughing, as I actually got to see this in person, but Beerus scowls at me, telling me to not get too comfortable, because he could erase me just as easily. I laugh, telling Beerus not to be so cocky. I've gotten a lot stronger since the last time we fought all out. Beerus smirks, saying we can test that any time I like. I smile, saying I'll take him up on the offer at some point, but I think I have a bit of fighting ahead of me that I should save my energy for. Beerus looks away in shame, as he knows that Goku will most likely succeed in creating the Tournament of Power, as a result of him being tricked by him. And Beerus then walks away, and we slightly laughs as he does. Some time passes, and the Tournament of Power is announced, Goku being chosen to create the team, and it remains the same as canon, other than I replace Frieza, and Broly replaces TM. Once we actually get to the tournament itself, I sort of take on a Jiren role, just sitting there and meditating the entire time. I want everyone to get the same amount of growth from this tournament that they did in canon, so I just let things play out. I tell Broly to do the same, but if he gets attacked, then he can obviously defend himself. I watch as Goku gets Ultra Instinct for the first time, and battles against Jiren. I watch as Kale and Caulifla attack Broly, which leads to a Berserk Kale fighting against a full power Super Saiyan Broly. However, Broly isn't trying to hurt her, and is instead trying to help her control the form like he was able to. They may be different forms, but they still went berserk in similar ways. Broly would eventually help Kale control the form, and not wanting to fight her anymore, would simply back off, and eventually, Goku would take over and activate Ultra Instinct for a second time while facing off against Kefla. Toppo would challenge Broly, and Broly would accept. However, Broly fast passes Toppo in every way, even after Toppo uses God of Destruction mode, and Broly knocks him out of the ring, while Blue Evolution Vegeta and Blue Kaioken Goku fight against Jiren. Android 17 has the sacrifice, which I know isn't real, and I tell Broly to stand here with me and watch what is about to happen. Broly just agrees, and we watch as Vegeta is knocked out of the ring, and we watch Goku unlock Ultra Instinct for the third time and fight against Jiren. Beerus is shouting, asking me what me and Broly are doing, just sitting there. But I shout for Beerus to be quiet and just watch. And Beerus is shocked at the nerve of what I just said, but he can't do anything, so he just watches the fight. And then, all of the gods of destruction stand up in respect, as Goku accesses Mastered Ultra Instinct. Goku and Jiren have their fight like normal, which leads to Goku's body giving out. And as Jiren is about to knock him out of the ring, me and Broly stand in front of Goku and smack away Jiren's attack. Broly is in full power Super Saiyan, and I am in Ultra Ego. Toppo from the stands looking in awe, as I've reached a power of destruction which he couldn't even imagine. Beerus smirks, saying the tournament was already over the second I was a part of the team. And me and Broly both power up balls of energy in our hands, which we consecutively throw at Jiren. And with this single attack, he's knocked out of the ring. And after Android 17 appears out of nowhere, showing he is still alive, Goku is announced as the MVP due to doing far more than either me or Broly. And even though Android 17 did do a considerable amount, Goku still has the edge, and was given the wish. It doesn't really matter who got the wish, since we'd all wished for the same thing, the unerasure of the other universes. Now the Tournament of Power is over, we would normally head to the Broly movie, but not only is Frieza completely erased, Broly is already a part of the main cast, so none of the events of that movie would happen. As for Moro, I simply teleport into his cell and took him before he can even escape. So now, we are at a period of peace. No Granola arc since Frieza is still dead, and obviously that also means it isn't the looming threat of Black Frieza. So now, we're just chilling, and I want a challenge. So on Beerus's planet, since Goku and Vegeta are still working towards their new forms, I decided to teach them the fusion dance, to see how I fare against Gogeta. Goku would be excited to do it, but it would take a bit of convincing with Vegeta. However, in the end, he would agree, and then Gogeta would be born for the first time in this timeline. Broly, Beerus and Whis sit on the sidelines, watching as the battle commences with Base Me and Base Gogeta trading blows. I'm impressed with the fighting prowess of Gogeta. We are nearly evenly matched in terms of power, but his skill in fighting far surpasses my own, which gives him the edge. I decide to activate Kaioken in order to make up for this, now gaining a slight edge over Gogeta. But Gogeta wasn't going to let this slide, and quickly powers up into Super Saiyan, which forces me to do the same. I fire a flurry of Ki Blasts at Gogeta, with Gogeta smacking them all away, and rushing towards me with a punch. However, I sidestep the blow, while kicking him in the side of the jaw. Gogeta says it's time they get serious, as he powers up into Super Saiyan Blue, and I do the same, resuming our battle with a Kamehameha clash, which I use as a distraction, while a clone of me comes from behind Gogeta in order to strike him in his blind spot. But Gogeta simply smirks, and instant transmissions behind my clone. But as my Kamehameha is about to hit my clone, I redirect it into the air. This was futile, however, as Gogeta simply kicks my clone into the beam, and then tries to throw a Soul Punisher at me. However, I power up into Ultra Ego, and counter it with a Ball of Hakai. I shout to Gogeta that it's time to end this, as I begin powering up another Kamehameha, but this time, I embed Hakai energy into it. Gogeta agrees, powering up into Super Saiyan Blue Evolution, and powering up a Big Bang Kamehameha. We both let out roars as we fire our beams, and they clash. Beerus' planet shaking viciously, and Whis puts a barrier around himself, Beerus and Broly. I am swiftly overpowering Gogeta's beam. Gogeta knows there's no point trying to get out of this one. This is his final stand, and he can't give up now. He has to push past his limits even more. The beam clash continues, and as I'm smirking, since I'm about to win, I hear Gogeta shout, "Kaioken times 20!" and his beam gains a lot more ground, slowly overpowering my Kamehameha. Gogeta begins to laugh, saying that it's over, but I smile, beginning to pull one of my hands away from the beam, so I am now performing a one-handed Kamehameha. I lift my other hand into the air, telling Gogeta that he forgot one major thing. Gogeta asked what that was, and I simply say, forced spirit fission. Gogeta then has a shocked expression on his face, as he sees all his energy being drained from him, as he diffuses into Goku and Vegeta, and my beam nearly kills the pair, but I appear in front of it with a Ball of Hakai in my hand, and erase the beam from existence. Whis removes the barrier, and Goku shouts that I cheated, by saying that it was never against the rules to force them to defuse. I was simply thinking tactically. Beerus agrees, saying that I simply outsmarted my opponent, and as Goku looks to Vegeta to back him up, Vegeta is simply looking away, saying that myself and Beerus aren't wrong. Goku begins pouting, but I tell him to cheer up. Maybe one day, he won't need to fuse in order to beat me. Goku instantly perks up, saying that he will, and Vegeta simply scoffs, saying if anyone is going to become stronger than me, then it will be him. Broly's just sitting there, amused, and Whis says that he thinks it's about time I become a destroyer. Beerus looks scared for a moment, but recomposes himself, saying that I'm still not up to the task. I laugh, saying that if Beerus wants, then they can always find out here and now. Everyone looks at Beerus, seeing if he's going to back down from the challenge, but for the sake of his own pride, Beerus accepts, and gets into his fighting stance, telling me to give him my best shot. I smirk, saying I won't need to, and as we clash fists, fighting for the role of Destroyer God, we are going to end off this series. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, then make sure to like, comment, and please do subscribe. It is quick and easy to do. Also, I want to give a huge thank you to Boldemir Garcia, Mega Exo, Cameron, and Jonathan Way for becoming channel members. If you want to be shouted out at the end of a video and get other perks like the channel members here, then there is a link in the description down below to become a channel member. It greatly supports me and it helps me immensely. With all that out of the way, I hope to see you all in the next video.